Mortal Kombat 11.
Lovely.
What's this to?
Sit on the fucking shop now. This game is great. I am a big fighter fan. I played most of them: Tekken, Street Fighter, Dragon Ball Fighters, and yeah, big MK fan. Bought the last couple, MK 9, 11. No, this is 11, isn't it? 10.
They've been in a bit of a spin with this, like 9, 10, 11. It feels
yeah, they have actually.
Come out of like a new sort of rebooted story, and then
because they sort of hit a wall, I think, with 8, and the sort of story was going nowhere, and they sort of rebooted it with 9 because they just called it Mortal Kombat again. So there was a thing. They're still the same company. It's always been NetherRealm, WB, but they sort of hit a wall, I think, and then there was that reboot, and then you had it was quite a long campaign. It was quite good, and it sort of reset the story, so they could make it a reboot and sort of just wipe away everything that had happened in the past, and that allowed them to bring back old characters that they'd killed off in the past and stuff. And then then 10 came out, and it was like the next gen Mortal Kombat, which again carried on a story, had a cool campaign. They introduced the X-ray moves, I think they did, into the original reboot. And then the fatalities have just been getting better and better, making it more realistic. And then this one came out, and it's a fantastic game. Again, we had another great campaign, fully voice acted by each character, and that each character has like a sort of backstory. You play through the segments are cut into chapters where you're playing through certain characters' stories, and they all sort of culminate together into one story. So you get a bit of background story in that, and with the new updated graphics, it worked really well. You get your standard sort of thing here. You got your classic online modes that you can play through, your story mode, your leaderboards and stuff. You got your towers that are historical through all the Mortal Kombat games, where you'd sort of go up an arcade ladder and then get to a final boss in here. They're pretty good, but you also have this other mode, which is it was in the last game actually it was in the reboot, ever since the reboot. They call it like the crypt, and it's almost like a little open world type thing that you're running around. And what happens now is when each time you fight, whether that be in the single player, in the campaign, or online, you'd get a currency. And then in this currency, that allows you to unlock further fatalities.
Okay. Are they character specific? The fatalities?
Yes. So each character get their own. They each get about 5, I think. So you get one that you only get one at the beginning. Then the more you play with that character, you unlock the second one, and then the other 3 you have to unlock using this currency. So you'd go through. So the more you played the game, the more you could unlock this currency, and you could unlock more fatalities, new skins, and a new feature that they brought into MK11 is you now have customizable parts. So you with Scorpion, you'd have his mask that he wears. You'd be able to swap that out, and all these parts have statistics on them as well. So it's like you have a gear score, and you could make your own personal Scorpion that would level up, and you can take this character into your online. You can choose whether to use the standard like no stats at all.
All the custom stuff.
The custom stuff you can just have cosmetic way, or if you've got these characters with the best stats against someone else's best stats, you could post them together and stuff. So it was quite a cool little dynamic. It also introduced the downside of microtransactions. which was annoying, and loot boxes and stuff. But playing the game, I never felt it was forced upon me, unless I wanted to get everything. That was the only thing. Like, you did have in the crypt, you have like a percentage thing, so you wanted to try and unlock everything. Well, the only way to really do that at a reasonable time length is to get the loot boxes, but it's only a cosmetic thing, so it wouldn't, because you have the option of being able to turn it off, it wasn't sort of seen as a pay to win thing.
No,
So it was an interesting feature that they added, and customization wise, it's brilliant. You can sort of make the old school characters, the costumes and stuff. You could change it up, or you could have, in completely different colours you wanted. You could make them look wacky and zany, and give them new weapons. Cool. And it was really gory. Some of the fatalities and brutalities and stuff that you could pull off in this are absolutely, it's incredible. I think a lot of them have been banned, like on YouTube. I know there's a fighter streamer that I follow who has to invert the colours when they're being played. YouTube ban, how sort of barbaric some of them are. It's an incredible one. But again, to this, and this isn't a dig at MK11, this is every single fight in game that's out now. And it really gets on my tits. But they've released a fighting pack. And this does my nut in every time. But to be honest, this is the first fighting game that I've actually bought. I actually bought the premium version that came with it. So I got this steelbook version that comes with all the DLC characters that they're being released individually. I think the Joker's just been announced, and he's being released next week, I think. So we just get them, but we get them a week early because I've got this premium version.
I see.
But it's cool that we get new characters, but it just annoys me that this is the normal with every fucking fighting game now. And it's multiple ones as well. Even fucking Smash is doing it now. Another multiple one. Good Lord. So I just feel like they're cutting content just to make extra money.
Yeah, it's always annoying when you feel that you're getting fucked over like that.
It is a pain in the arse because there's characters that you love, like people love. I don't know, say like Johnny Cage or something, and they're holding back and go, oh no, it's all right, you can get him in the next pack, but you've got to pay 20 quid. So it's a pain in the arse when they do things like that. But like I say, it's not just this game. I don't think there's a fighting game out there at the minute that hasn't got a fight pack. But it's definitely it's the sort of the most refined Mortal Kombat game since number 9, which came out, I think it was about 2014, something like that. They've perfected the formula now of fighting games. The campaign is what it is. You're doing your fight. There's not much adding to it. They used to fit it with sort of quick time events and things like that, but now it's just sort of an interesting story. It's not fucking going to be winning any awards for innovative story, but it's serviceable.
That's what you need.
It's like playing that Injustice story. You get what you expect.
Oh yeah.
But presentation wise, it's fantastic. The music's good. The gore's fucking brilliant, and that's really where the meat and potatoes is the combos that you can pull off, and that if you're good at those type of games. I'm not nowhere any good. I tried online. I got my ass whooped a few times, but it's a good one to play your friends at as well. Like, if you just pop round your mate's house and that and have a couple of fights. But it's all about them getting the different fatalities and that, and unlocking these little customization parts. But it's one I picked up and thought I'd play a lot. I played it for about 15 hours, finished the campaign and that, and I did anticipate to try and play it a bit more and try and get through some more, unlock some more of this stuff, but I don't know, it's not really called me back as much.
No.
I've sort of fallen a bit out of love with these fighting games. I think I sort of burnt myself out with a few sort of over the sort of last 5 years. We've had Street Fighter 5, Tekken 7, Mortal Kombat 11, Dragon Ball Z fighters.
Yeah,
So,
shit.
and they've all, like I say, they all come with these fucking extra fighter packs. So I'm sitting there going, oh, for fuck's sake, now I've got to, if I have to buy all these again, Smash, another one. So, yeah, I've sort of burnt myself out with fighters a lot. So luckily there's not any on the horizon, I don't think.
No.
But yeah, an overall good, decent fighter. I think it's going well with the fans. I think the hardcore are loving it. The new characters, like I say, they get released every couple of months. A real strong lineup as well. It started off with a few previous characters from Mortal Kombat, and then they introduced people like we've got the Joker, Arnold Schwarzenegger's Terminator was in here.
Ain't that fella from The Walking Dead in it? Or
that was Tekken.
That was Tekken. Blown it.
Lucille, yeah, he was in the Tekken one. Yeah, that was an interesting character. And I think the last one we've got is Spawn. Oh. Yeah, which is a very random one. Shit ass. And then and then in previous games they had things like Freddy, fucking Jason, and Texas Chainsaw, and a Xenomorph.
I remember seeing him.
So yeah, they get a real plethora. But yeah, positive thing. You need to be into these games to pick them up. You know. I don't think that campaign. You know, I can't imagine Logan playing through it and going, "That was bloody brilliant." But you know, someone like yourself, I think you'd enjoy it. I think going through it, just bashing your way through it, you'd have a little delve in some of the towers and pop it down, and you've had enough. That'd be the end of it. So yeah, quite pleased with it. No performance problems. Looks clean. Plays well. It is what it is. If you're into that thing, I just sort of feel like I've been a bit burnt out by that type of genre. But that's not a pun on the game. That's just me personally. But yeah, positive things from MK11. A strong entry.
Mortal Kombat 11 official grading.
I'm gonna go as high as a 8.5.
8.5 for MK11. Beautiful stuff. Starlink Battle for Atlas.
Yeah. Now this one is
Toys to Life.
Toys to Life. Yeah. They tried to do it. They went right. That failed with Lego Dimensions. It failed with, what was the other one? Lego Dimensions. There's another one, wasn't there? Disney.
Yeah.
Something. Disney something. Can't remember it now. Infinity. That's the one. They went right. They're both dead in the water. We're gonna fucking bring it back. Ubisoft. A fucking No Man's Sky where we can go from planet to planet and we fight fucking robots, and you buy the little ships and they click into your fucking Joy-Cons and you can fly around the world and explore and shoot shit. It's incredible. And I thought, well, that sounds interesting. And then all of a sudden they fucking announced that it's going to be a Nintendo Switch exclusive to have Star Fox in it. And I was sold on that. It was the closest thing we got to a Star Fox game on the Switch. So I was deeply involved. So yeah, I didn't get this on release, but I was sniffing since I saw it released E3 years ago. When would it have been? Fucking 2017 probably now.
Yes.
Yeah, so picked it up. It instantly fucking came out. Came out to, you know, lukewarm reviews. Then sales started to drop off a bit. At first, they didn't sell as much as they anticipated. Shocker. No. Then you started seeing it in the bargain bin fucking realms. So I picked it up. I think I paid about 40 for it, I think, in the end. I bought it, and I think about a week later it went on Amazon for about 15 quid.
Yeah, I've seen it the other week for £7.89 with the ship as well, and I was like, good lord, it's almost worth just getting into the ship.
I've still got it on my fucking shelf at the minute. I think it's a cool little shit, because I loved the Star Fox games as a kid. I had Lilac Wars on the N64. Yeah, I'm a big fan. I bought the amiibo of fucking Star Fox, all that shit. I love it. So yeah, I bought it based on that. Starlink as a game, like I say, when I first saw it, the way they were going for was like this No Man's Sky. This is when No Man's Sky was real bottom of the barrel shit, struggling with life. So they thought they could fucking pick that title up and run with it. You couldn't get out the ship, so you were limited.
No.
So they balls that up from the spot. But going from world to world was pretty good. It had that seamless transition, just like on, what's it called? You go up into space and you'd have your dog battles, like with the spaceships, and that worked really well, I thought. I remember that was being a bit of a bad side for No Man's Sky. It was quite difficult to navigate around and shoot the other ships. I think they've sorted that out since, but no, I thought Starlink did a better job of that, and that felt pretty good. Then when you got down into each planet, it was very much in the same setting as every Ubisoft game, where you go down into a planet and it will be just a plethora of sort of things to do, checklists. So you'd have like fucking towers that you'd have to climb and whatnot, but you couldn't get out of your ship, so you'd have to get to this tower, and then you'd have to fucking, I don't know, shoot these 3 balls on it, and then another bit would come out, and then a boss would come out. Then you had to shoot these robot groups, and you'd shoot 10 of them, and then their boss would come out. So it was very much a condensed like Assassin's Creed, but in a ship. But yeah, so gameplay wise, it was okay. It was like a shooter, a space shooter type game. They tried to implement like the exploration of, you scanned items on each planet and stuff, and it gave you a bit of lore and that. But yeah, a little bit of lore. It was pretty chuck away. The story was pretty good, and it almost had like a bit of a Mass Effect story attached to it. It was like this race of evil aliens that were trying to overtake the planet and stuff, and then you were like this part of this Starlink initiative, you were like a main character, and then that was the main game. And then the Nintendo Switch game actually you would introduce the Star Fox characters into the game, so you could literally play this side by side with the PS4 version, and the same game would be playing, but they managed to sort of Photoshop in the characters and like include them into the story. So yeah, it's an impressive little thing, and it really did feel like you chose who you played with through the game, so you could pick like what character you could play, and you'd scan your ship in and that. But the thing with mine is, once you'd scan the ship into your game, it would then save, so you wouldn't have to have the thing on your controller and used to get in the way because it's all big and clumsy. So I just used to scan it once and then leave it off then and just play it normally. But so it did really make the Toys for Life pretty redundant. So yeah, I've got to say, it was better than I thought. I went in with quite low expectations, to be fair, and it wasn't going to fucking win any awards. I didn't expect the Toys for Life to stick around, and shortly after, I think it was about 3 months after they decided to end production of them, I think I went into Smith's not long ago, and I saw them all sat there in the bargain bin for fucking like £5.
A failed experiment.
It really was. They were so full of life. They were like, I remember signing up to like the Ubisoft account on that, and they were emailing me saying, we've got the next production line ready, and we've got some new ships on the line. And then about 2 weeks later, I got an email saying, we've decided to leave that now. We're not going to leave that. There won't be no more production, so do what we will with that one. And then, like you say, you're seeing the fucking full experience for £7 in a bargain bin.
So, what's the old scores on the doors for a Starlink?
So, a Starlink, I'm going to give a 7.5.
7.5 for the...
there's a little... It's a worthy game. I think it was about 25 hours long. Not too much. You can go make it longer by 100% in everything. You got the standard completion. The setup was a bit like Star Wars, where you had the multiple planets and you could go to each one and check off a checklist, and then you'd get a percentage, and then you move on. Bit like that, but it was aimed at kids primarily. The cutscenes in there were very incredible. Like the art style was very much a bit like the Overwatch. You know, like how good they almost Pixar-ish. That's sort of the sort of quality that you were getting from Ubisoft. So it looked like they really went into it, but yeah, I think it must have cost them a shit ton.
Lost their asses on this.
That's what I think. Ultimately, yeah, this and fucking Ghost Recon is what probably fucking made them delay everything. Went right. Well, we've had two absolute fucking cash cow stinkers. We're gonna have to
can't be affording that.
But yeah, there's something in there for thing. I'd say it's worth picking up for £7 just to think a couple of things. It's mindless to, but yeah, something in there.
Well, another Ubisoft game up next, The Division 2.
Cool.
Now, I've started playing this. I've probably only done about 6 hours, maybe, with Logan. But Division 2, you played through the first division. Kale waffling through it.
Spoiling it left, right, and centre.
What's the setup for Division 2 in terms of play style? Was it a lone wolf jobby, or was it a
It was supposed to be a co-op with my brother. I remember he was late to the division thing, and I went through with him after I completed it with Kale. I went back through it with him, and the intention was to buy it with him on PlayStation. But yeah, I can't remember, for some sort of reason we cancelled our pre-orders, and then I think I found out that it sort of ran a lot better on Xbox. So tried to persuade him, but he'd already pre-ordered it on Xbox, PlayStation. So he kept his, and then we got split up. So I got it on Xbox, and then found out that Hall and D-Man had both bought it on Xbox as well. So we had a little group, and Chappers, I think. We had a little group. Wow. So the intention was to play through that, but little did I know, I'd still be playing a little tiny game called Red Dead Redemption 2. That took me 90 hours. So, and as you know, D-Man is an absolute fucking lover of this game.
Yeah, he's an animal.
So him and Hall seemingly sort of shot off, left poor me in the dust, fully deserved because I didn't commit. I was like, well, I've got fucking Red Dead sitting
Parky, you evil bastard.
Yeah, I got Red Dead sitting there, so decided to go through that, and I had a couple of sessions with the boys. It was quite good, just playing through some missions. But primarily I soloed this. I played with 3 other randoms. So it's the same setup as the first game. You're going through. This one's set in DC. Washington DC. Similar sort of setting, you know, the same fucking plague or whatever it is. The disease is carried over. The world's gone to shit. You've got these sub-military groups trying to take over the world and whatnot. And you go to each area in the zone, on the zone, and that becomes a mission.
Clear it down.
That's it, clear it down. Wave upon wave of enemies. Kill the big fucking boss. Get your new guns. Loot and shoot.
Robert's your father's
brother. So, played that, and then, in the end I just went through it mostly by playing with randoms.
Right. Used the matchmaking.
Yeah, just use that. It didn't seem to work very well at first. I think I ended up having to go through at least about 30% of each mission on my Todd, and then all of a sudden...
What, and they just didn't appear,
they just appear, and I think, thank fuck for that, because there's a boss coming up in a minute. And there was a thing where you could, like, call out for help when you're in the world, and I'd always do that, and no one would, like, respond to it. It just used to just sit there going round and round and round. And I remember even D-Man just saying, like, it's fucking useless, that thing. So I would suggest, if anyone is going to pick it up, to make sure you have got a companion if you don't want to be playing with randoms, because as much as it's alright playing with randoms, the amount of times I thought, for fuck's sake, what are you doing? But I didn't have the headset on because I don't want to talk to random people. I'm not a social butterfly like that, you see.
No, you don't want to be talking to those fucking weirdos. Any sort of major differences between this and the first one to call out, or is it sort of I know it's a lot more colourful.
It's a different setting. Yeah, you're in that one was very. I was in the winter, so everything was snow covered, wasn't it?
Fucking New York, wasn't
fucking
it?
boiling hot summer of Washington DC. So you've got the setting. It's much for much the same. You've got the sort of you've got your settlements that you can upgrade and do sort of side quests to increase. The only thing that sort of stuck out for me was more towards the end game. I didn't delve into it too much, but once you'd finished the story, you then had the end game system where you go into like a class base. You had things that called
like specialist
classes, and you had sort of 3 that you could pick from, and quite good that you could chop and you can literally choose on them, not on the fly, but if you go back to the main base, you can choose and swap them out. You didn't have to commit and think, I wonder what the other one's like, which I quite like.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, it just sort of resets everything, and then this new powerful endgame people come in, and you sort of just and you just essentially play through the same thing that you've already done with harder missions. So that's why there was talk of going through it with Hall and D-Man, but died of death. Yeah, it's with these sort of games, you know, you're either the likes of me and you in this, where we'll play through the campaign and delve into the end game for a little bit, or you're the D-Mans and the fucking forgot his name, the Lappers of the world, fucking live and breathe this game. So irrelevant, he's gone. His name's gone from my brain. But yeah, he'll just live and play this game forever, and it's the sort of game that you can sink ridiculous hours in. This looter shooter, constantly looking for better gear score, getting that up as high as you can. I didn't delve into the what was the fucking Dead Zone? Is it or?
Oh yeah.
Dark Zone. That's it. This one's apparently been expanded. There's one you've got different tiers in it now. So,
that's it,
all different games. But like I say, because I was lone wolf in it, I didn't feel brave enough. I remember me and you going in the original one and going, fucking, what are we doing? Shit. So, yeah, there was a lot to be had. But I've got to say, campaign was pretty good. Pretty serviceable story. Not too much different for me. I didn't think. Not a lot of great innovation. The odd bit here and there. You know, a lot more gear score, some customization of clothes and stuff. But you had that in the first one. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, a worthy winner. Worth the game if you're into that sort of thing. But yeah, recommendation.
Final grading, or official grading, I should say, for the Division 2.
I'd give it a solid 8, I think. It was, it wasn't many to fault about, to be honest, you know, other than it was more of the same. But, you know, if it ain't broken, don't fix it, sort of thing, you know.
No, don't get involved and don't undo it all. We've then got another Ubisoft game and another sequel. Watch Dogs 2.
Sequel.
People were saying that, we've just said there, we've previously spoken about the Division 2 there, and we're saying it's not much different. A lot of people didn't like Watch Dogs OG, felt it was a bit bland and boring. They come out of Watch Dogs 2. What have they done?
They fucking made it even worse. No, they haven't. No, this is a good game. It is. This is exactly what I wanted from the original Watch Dogs. We didn't get that fucking trailer that we first saw. And I'm glad they didn't do that again. And I'm glad they showed us exactly what we got. And yeah, this was a complete different story, different setting. Didn't really continue story. So there's elements in it, you know, it's the same company, the dissect, that hackers group. It's just this new guy, I forget his name, Marcus, I think his name is. He was a likable character,
Aidan
Pierce Binge, It was less like, you know, that one was more dark. This one has a more colourful tone to it. You know, it's set in San Francisco. So yeah, there's a lot of bright environments, big open world with lots of things to do. The hacking is increased, like they've sort of improved on it. So there's so much you can do. You can take control of cars now and drive them without even being in them. You had like drones in this that you could control, and there's like missions I could do with drones. I wouldn't even have to do anything. I could just literally sit on the side of the road, and as long as I was within distance, I could sort of traverse this drone or this little remote control car through the area, like set off traps to kill guards and stuff, get to a computer and download some file and get back before even thing. And it was quite incredible. But yeah, I ended up platinum this game. I went through the whole thing. It wasn't too bad. It was only about 30 hours, I think it took me. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought the story was a lot better than number one. Not difficult.
But...
No, not a difficult game. No, I don't know what you mean. Not difficult to beat, because that was a bit shit as well. But yeah, an interesting thing. You've got your clear down merchant merchant world. You know, you can go off and do all different things. You had your activities you can get involved in. There's races. You can buy different cars. It's got sort of small elements of GTA in it, just because it's an open world. There were some little mini games you could partake in. So,
what about the main thing for me is I've been hearing that, or at least I remember when it come out, I've been hearing that you're online all the time and people can start meddling.
That was a botherance.
Can you turn it off
I don't
or not?
think so, but you can choose to not get involved in it. The only thing they can do is, I can't remember if they can blow up your car or not.
Fucking not.
Or I have a feeling you can beat you invisible to them unless you accept it, come to think of it. But I think they could still fuck with your car, because that didn't go invisible. Unless you got in it, I think. So, yeah, you'd sort of... A bit like, in GTA 5, where you could, like, lock other people out. I think you can do that sort of thing. But, yeah, if you forget for some instance, then, yeah, you'd get some fucker that would just, like, run. And if you're in their zone... yeah, they just fucking troll you a little bit and stuff. Like, especially if you're being chased by the police and they like see you, they could like fucking corner you off, and that would really piss you off. But I can't remember if there was an option to turn that off or not. But to be honest, I think probably because it was part of the trophies, I think I did get involved in that quite a bit, because I thought it was quite fun. There's this like a couple of modes where you have to sort of hide. It's like, almost like a hide and seek multiplayer game, and you sort of have to try and hack their phone and the sort of percentage bar, but you got to like blend in with the environment and pretend that's it, because you just look like a normal NPC to them, so they can like. I remember you could do it on the first one. Really? I was laying in the car for ages and someone caught me and I had to drive off. But... yeah, it was pretty good. So yeah, pretty decent. Performance wise, it was pretty good. Combat was pretty good. The guns felt okay, not as as refined as something like GTA. Your main weapon that you had was quite inventive. It was a snooker ball on a bit of string, and he was sort of whipping it around. And also, Marcus is a wizard at the parkouring, so that is how you would traverse. But I like what they did take out was that sort of typical Ubisoft, clear down merchant of the towers. Remember they had like the thing. They took them out. They replaced them with little things, but it wasn't as it wasn't as such a this is a Ubisoft game, therefore we should have towers and everything that's in Assassin's Creed and that. But yeah, there's some good customization in it. You could customize your guns. You had like in your dissect zone, like where you used to go back and get your missions, you'd have a like 3D printer, and you could like print new guns and new drones and things like that. So yeah, you had like an RPG element where you'd have like a skill tree where you get new abilities that you could upgrade, new hacking things, like you could do that whole blackout thing again, and all different plethering. But yeah, like I say, it was just basically a real improvement from number one. A positive.
I do want to play that, to be honest. That's one I need to be getting off to at some point and spending the time on it. So it's 100% want to play that, because it looked like it was an improvement. does the improvement give it an improvement potentially in the scoring section?
Yeah, I don't remember what I'd give thing. I'm not sure what I'd give. I'd give this an 8. A flat 8, I'd say. It's a decent game, decent score. I'd probably give, I don't know, 6.5 to a 7.
Yeah, I think I gave the original a 7, but
there was elements I did like of one. I like the hacking and thing. That was quite new at the time, and
the premise was good. It was interesting, but it wasn't executed well. Whereas this looked like it was a much better execution of it.
Yeah.
So for some reason though, I just never got round to it, and it's still haunting me. So I'll absolutely.
I've still got it here on disc, baby. So you're welcome to borrow and plough through. Like I say, I think you could sort of smash through it in 20 hours and have a little dabble in each of it. But resounding, pretty good.
Excellent. Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Cool.
People are saying this is fucking ancient.
Ancient history. So come out, fucking rage, absolute rage, fucking pay to win. Fucking leveling up was shit, wasn't it? So I didn't touch this game. I got this as a Christmas present last Christmas, 2019. Yes. No, 2018. 2018. I had a little fucking Amazon wish list and fucking loads of games on there, and I got this out of it. I was livid. Didn't touch it for a full year, and then, like I say, after Fallen Order come out, Star Wars film was coming out, I then had a Lego phase. I was in the real height of my Star Wars phase. I decided to unwrap this game, and there's been huge patches since. They revoked all what they had caused problems with the whole loot boxing and the way pay to win that fucking they got absolutely hounded, and well deserved. They fucking were idiots for what they'd done. But they completely retracted everything. They took away the loot boxes for a certain time. When they did bring it back, it was completely just for cosmetic reasons only. No pay to win anymore. And this one came with a fully fledged campaign. So I played through the campaign. I enjoyed it. Again, another canonical story. Was set. You play as Iden Verso, I think her name, or Eden Verso, who is like a death trooper, so like an advanced stormtrooper. So you're on the bad side, and she sort of comes to light and tries to go over to the other side. And it's sort of, you can choose to play it as first person or third person. Got the option. But it's a bit strange, the story. It's cut into chapters and stuff, so you're playing through. But because the first game was strictly original trilogy, this game sort of expands over all of the like the whole saga. So So like in the beginning of the story, you're playing through like the original trilogy characters, and it sort of, integrates them a bit. And then by the end of it, you've got your sort of the new trilogy. You're like got missions with Kylo Ren in it and stuff like that. So the story's a bit, it's a bit sort of wishy-washy because it's not really believable.
It's canon now.
But that's it. Yeah, it's canon story, so it's interesting. But there's a bit of variety in there. You're playing as Luke at one point with your lightsaber and stuff, but the meat and potatoes of this game is definitely its online mode, which I played quite a bit. I think I played it for a good, decent 10 hours, I think, which is quite a big for. It's not a lot compared to online gamers, but for me, that is. I felt like I got a decent amount of it. It really is like a real Star Wars experience. Once you turn the HUD off of this game, and you have the guns and you enter these, what it's called, I forget what it's called, Assault Walker, and it's like this big 40v40 match and that, and you've got fucking blasters going off everywhere. The sound is so incredible in this game. It is so fucking bang on point. They've improved the graphics in it, and it's just a great, if you're into the Star Wars franchise, and you like a game a bit like Battlefield or these big online games, it's perfect. And yeah, I think since that patch that they've done, the big one to overhaul it, they really have made it more interesting. Like the upgrading, you level up as you do in them type of games, and you can unlock customizations for each character. They have different skins.
Yeah.
You can unlock different guns and stuff. But yeah, it really is the sort of just the presentation of the game is definitely the best part of this game by far.
Does it feel more close to Star Wars than Jedi Fallen Order?
It does in an immersive sense, because it's first person, and I don't know, it just feels more. You know, I feel more that I'm invested in that world playing Battlefront than I did running around as a Jedi. Although I thought Jedi is a better game, I definitely think that Battlefront 2 is a more immersive game. That like I say, turning that HUD off and just being in one of those maps, because they're so incredibly crafted to look exactly like in the films. And that's what they'll do. They'll just literally take a scene from one of the films, and they'll just turn that into that world, and you can literally run around that environment and see bits that you can see on the film. You can like actually see, oh, that's that bit I was running down earlier, and it's just the attention to detail is just incredible. And they've just added so many different modes now. They keep adding to it now. I think they released a new mode the other day. And they've just released a new Rise of the Skywalker patch, so it's literally content coming out their arses, and they're still patching it to this day. So there's a lot to be added. It even got re-reviewed by the major outlets. I
saw.
And it's getting decent reviews. So it's something that, you know, if you can look past the shittery, that's the thing. A lot of people have already been turned off by this game, because it come out on the shit that they pulled, and that's it. People won't give them a second chance and say, no, you fucked it already, not interested, move on. And that's fine, you know. Yeah, maybe they do deserve that, but you know,
cutting noses off.
That's it. That's the thing. There's a good game there now. If that's your type of game, if you're a Star Wars fan, or even just a Call of Duty or Battlefield shooter fan, FPS, I think there's definitely something there for someone. So solid.
Battlefront 2 official gleeding.
I'm going to give it a 7.5. Campaign was okay, but wishy-washy in story. Canon story, it was a bit over the place, but it was good to have a campaign rather than nothing in the original. It was just a few little stories, a bit like the Titanfalls. Went the same way, but Titanfall came out with a better campaign in 2. But worth a play, I'd say, in 2019. Then I'm sure you could probably pick it up pretty cheap as well.
I think it's on EA Access as well, so those that have that membership, I believe, you can download it as part of that if you've got that and a million other subscriptions. Final game. Boom. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu version, not Eevee.
Not Eevee, didn't want it. Fuck.
First question is, why has Eevee been banned?
Eevee's been banned because I'm a Pikachu man.
I don't know who Eevee is either.
Who?
I don't know much about Eevee. I know a lot about Pikachu because of old Ash in the anime series.
And Salmon will be livid because he loves Eevee, and that's what he went for.
I tell you what, if
he's labelled a brat. So
he's been labelled you go with Eevee and you're labelled a prat, and that's the game.
So after the absolute sensation that was Pokemon Go, that got even me and you out in the fucking streets like a couple of Nellies.
Yeah, getting fucking sunburned
running around fucking parks looking for fucking balls. People still play that these days.
Fuck no. I think so, I'm
driving down Shoebury and there was like all these lads just outside the fucking church all on their phones and that. We knew they were
trying to get
But it did, didn't it? It took the fucking world by storm. So then they announced, this Switch game, Pokemon Let's Go, which is a remake of the original Pokemon Yellow, I think it was. Red.
Yeah.
Basically the original Pokemon games that were on the Game Boy that we all grew up and fucking loved as kids. And I don't think I probably would have been old enough to complete them back then. So I picked this up because, I thought it, and we knew the new Pokemon game was coming to Switch. So I thought this would be a nice appetizer to get me back into that. Although I had Pokemon Go, I thought it'd be good to sort of get back into that world and hype me ready for the great game that would be Pokemon Sword and Shield. So this came out. There was a slight concern about how it was a big change that you'd no longer catch the Pokemon with battles anymore. It was just simply that you'd come across a Pokemon and you'd throw a ball at it and catch it. And that's the game. So basically, although there was a lot of battling in this game, so you had I think it was 6, I think there might be more than that, 6 or 9 possibly. I finished this in May, so it's been a good few months. We're now in January 2020. So it's been a few months since I played it, but however, there's so many gyms in this game, and basically you're working your way through to these gym leaders in each town, and you have to battle their Pokemon to become the gym master. And then once you get all the badges, you then fight the big bad man at the end. To become the Pokemon master. And so you're catching these Pokemon as you go around in you have these wild areas as you're traversing around the world, and you just literally come across random Pokemon, and you literally just throw a Pokeball at them, and
you flick a Pokeball at them and you label them.
You literally do throw. I think you can, because this is the weirdest thing is the control of this game. It's all on one Joy-Con, so So you don't even have to, you could just unplug one and throw it over your shoulder. And that's it. It's all on the right hand. The only way you can do is if you can play in handheld, then you can use the left Joy-Con to move. The left hand Joy-Con to move, and then you just press B to throw the ball. But when you're playing on a TV or tabletop mode, then you can only play on one Joy-Con, and instead of pressing, you can't press B to throw, you have to throw it in motion control. So you have to be labelled a prat and throw. And as you know, with fucking motion control, you can go to throw a ball and it fucking goes a complete opposite direction. Gets on your cunt. But
they haven't enabled the touchscreen flip jobby if they have your thumb. You can do that.
Yes, that was the main crux of the game, was collecting these things, but there was no battling system to collecting them. You just literally threw your ball at them and got them. And then what you'd do is you would have you'd select your team of, I can't remember how many it was now, 8 possibly, or 6, something like that. And they were your main Pokemon. And then as you would battle, what you do is whilst you're traversing through these areas to get to the towns and do these little side missions, there would just be random NPCs along the way, and each of them would want to battle. They'd have 2, sometimes 3 Pokemon, and then you'd fight them with your Pokemon, just doing a couple of moves. It was just literally click one move, they'd do it, and then another one. And probably for I'd say about 60 to 70% of the game, you literally didn't really need to do anything. You didn't even have to look at what you was pressing. You could just literally press B, and the first fighting move that came up, it would hit them, and you'd kill them in one hit. It was so easy, this game. But there was a lot of battling to do, even though you weren't battling to get the Pokemon, just to get through all the NPCs, because you couldn't walk past them. Every time you went to walk past them, they'd stop you, and then you'd have to fight them.
Yes.
But it wouldn't be too long. It'd just be 2 Pokemon you had to fight, and take 2 minutes sometimes because you're just one punching them. But yeah, like I say, at least 70% of this game, I reckon I just pressed the first thing that come up and killed them. Yeah. Then towards the end, it did start to get a bit harder. I never died in this game. I lost a few Pokemon, like they died, but I never lost all the Pokemon and had to restart a mission. It was that easy. And, you know, it is Pokemon. It is aimed at kids, so it's kind of to be expected. But like I say, 70% of the game, I didn't do a single thing but press B to progress. It was literally press B to win. And then, once the difficulty sort of spiked, and then I had to sort of focus on what sort of elements I was using. So, like, they'd start using rock Pokemon, and I knew I couldn't use electricity because it wouldn't work. So I had to switch it up, and it did start.
Right, it did eventually get to the stage where you had to start thinking about your lineup.
That's it, and I did sort of think, oh, that's interesting, but too little too late. Like I say, 30% of the game you're doing that. And by that time I'd almost completed my Pokedex. I nearly got them all. That's the aim of the game, catch them all. Although you can't fucking do that unless you've got both copies. So that's fun.
Right.
But they're supposed to, you can trade.
Stick a cock up your summer, haven't they?
One thing that did help me is that you could trade your Pokemon that you caught from Pokemon Go to Pokemon Let's Go. You could link your account. So ones that I'd found out in the wild and that, I thought, cool, I can just transfer over. And I got them, So I think I did have a little list on my phone of how many left I needed. So it was about 150 odd, didn't there? I still got that little list, or did I delete it? Let's have a look. Oh no, I still got it. So I need, there's quite a few. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 25. So I've got 25 left to get out about 100. Whatever many there are, 150 I think there are. So I got the majority of them, but so there's still many to go back. But I got to the end of the story, become the Pokemon Master. Pretty good, binned it. Thought it was a good game to get me back into the Pokemon. Got me ready for Pokemon Shield. Didn't even fucking buy the game.
Why do you think that was?
Because it looks shit. Pokédex. No, was it Dexit?
Texas,
it is, to be honest, it is one I've thought about picking up, but again, they never fucking go out. They never go fucking cheap. So
I thought that was going to be a banker for me, that old Sword or Shield.
It just came out to lukewarm thing. I think there was big. It came out like.
I didn't like these giant Pokemon rolling around that you could just make them big.
Gigantamax in. And it came out the same day as Star Wars Fallen Order, so that got the nod over it.
Which was near Death Stranding anyway,
it didn't really go well, so I have avoided it. But I don't know. I've heard it's just announced some new DLC, isn't it? And so maybe they might do a collection of it or something, and maybe it might get purchased down the line. But it's not certainly one that's on my eyesight. But this was a good little entry. Certainly fans of the original. There's a lot. I'll tell you, the biggest thing of this game was the nostalgia. Just the music was reimagined, and it was the same music, literally the same lines. You're playing as Ash and that, and it was just literally a proper nostalgia trip. I felt like I was at Kes Year 7
playing on the
Game Boy, playing on my Switch. So it was, but I was also like, I'm a 30-year-old man playing Pokemon Let's Go. What is wrong with me?
The thing that put me off getting this was not necessarily the throwing of balls, but the isn't the leveling up system on the Pokemon still mainly through treats?
Well, no, majority was through the battling, but you could, you had to sort of, because you.
Hang on, what is it? What about evolving them?
No, that was still the same. You could give them treats to increase their stats, but you had these special stones that would evolve them, and when they leveled up to a certain, like say they got to level 25, they would evolve. So the treats weren't really there. You could.
Okay.
The thing was, you have one Pokemon that you carry around with you at all time. So
You can get on his back.
and you can get on his back if it's a big fucker, or you could have Pikachu. He sits on your fucking shoulder or whatever. But you could play with him and give him like sweets, and you could motion control rub his belly. And that was degrading.
So did it? Because I think in my head I had it that it kind of bastardized some of the core mechanics of Pokemon.
I suppose. Well, the biggest one was
because when you catch them, you just throw the ball.
that was the biggest thing. I think. Yeah, in the original, you would come across a Pokemon, you'd fight him, wear him down, and then once he was fucked, you threw the ball at him and got him. Well, none of that. You just walk across him. It comes up as a battle screen, but it's not. It was just the Pokemon go, flick a ball at him, get him in the O, and that was it. He was now yours. And then you fight him, use him in your little group to fight, to level him up.
Yeah.
So it did take the sort of...
So you had to fight other trainers to get the experience.
You fight the NPCs mainly. There's so many of them. There's like literally hundreds, scattered everywhere. So you are fighting as much as you catch in Pokemon, I'd say. But they're so short fights, and then you get to the trainers and you'd have quite big fights with them. But it was just that 70-30 thing for me, that it was literally so easy. I don't think there was a difficulty thing. Maybe there is, but it's very easy, and like I say, too far gone with that. But I think there was a bit of a backlash from the hardcore fans saying that they just made it too easy and changed the core mechanics of what Pokemon was. But for someone like me who hadn't touched this since the fucking early 2000s,
nor have I.
It was quite a good thing, because I think we had the Pokemon film as well that had come out not too when this came out. It wasn't too far. So it was a bit of a sort of a nice little nostalgic trip of, this is the Pokemon thing. But again, this stuff sort of comes in waves. I don't think I've thought about Pokemon for the last year. I don't think since that. So forgettable. But nice appetizer, I thought, before the next game. But maybe that might be a review for another time. Who knows?
We'll see. Well, that's it.
That's it. One last score.
That's all the round up the reviews. We need to score Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, the final frontier.
I'm going to give it a 7.5.
7.5 up your arse. They said. Excellent. Bronze. Well, we have rifled through a lot of games in the past few sessions. Lots of opinions and whatnot, and blown an entire evening.
Literally have. I think I might have even said to the wife, I said, I'll be up in a minute. That was about 8 o'clock. It's now 2:20. I bet she don't think I'm coming.
It'll keep Dimp running for about 8 weeks, so we appreciate it. But nothing more from me saying. If there's nothing more from you,
I've got another 6 games I'd like to discuss.
I think I'll just leave you on. So I'll come down in the morning and turn the microphone off. But nothing more for us to say apart from thanks for your time and ta-da.
Boom.